everyone. Thanks for joining us for this first virtual launch for Uniboard. My name is Isabelle Racicot. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a television and radio host. And among the many things I've hosted, I did host a renovation show for about 3 years. So I got to work with people from the industry and amazing designers. So I am very excited to be here with you all today because I know that we're going to get some great takeaways and insights that we're all going to benefit from. So today's presentation will last for about 30 minutes, and throughout the presentation I will get to you for some of your questions. And if we don't have time to answer your questions, you can write them to info@uniboard.com and somebody will take the time to answer your questions. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the president of Uniboard, Mr. James Hogg, who is best renowned for his work, and my iPad is moving along, sorry. He's really well known as the president of this company, but also for the knowledge of the global value chain in forest products, from raw materials in sawmilling and decor paper printing. That was a long intro, sorry.
That's fine. It was too long, I agree. So anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to Uniboard's virtual event. As you all know, in this time of COVID, there's no trade shows, and normally we would take a plane and head to Quebec and see the new equipment, the new press, and do all that, but we can't do that. So we came up with this platform, this forum, and I think it works extremely well in terms of that we can take along a lot more people on the journey to see what's new at Uniboard. So welcome to you all again. It's great to see that so many can participate. There's several hundred people linked up to this new platform. Just a few words on how it's gonna develop over the next half hour, what's in store. First of all, we're going to travel to Quebec. We're going to have a look at our biggest mill. Secondly, we're going to look in detail at our press that we're officially opening today, Press 7 in Quebec. And lastly, we're going to give you a little sneak peek preview on the new collection, the editions that we're going to launch on the 16th of November. So with that.
Thank you. Also with us, we have Don Raymond, who's Vice President of Marketing and U.S. Sales at Uniboard. Don has been with Uniboard for more than 20 years, so he started in high school and has been at the center of the evolution of the company, driving the development and growth of the sales and marketing team, new product innovations, and TFL designs. Hello.
Thank you, Isabelle. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome for joining us. Great to see you. You got Carolyn up there, you got Jeff, you got Russ, you got Trevor, you got a whole slew of you guys. Welcome for taking the time. Again, 30 minutes, you're going to see some pretty exciting stuff out there.
Thank you. Well, I'll let James kick off the presentation.
Thank you again, Isabelle. So Uniboard, as you know, we have positioned ourselves over the last years as the leader in decorative surfaces, both in technology terms, in terms of design, but also in terms of innovation along those lines, both technology and design. And a lot of that is happening in our Quebec mill in terms of the melamine developments. We have 400 employees. It's 1 million square feet under roof. It's a huge plant with 7 production lines. Overall, over the last 5 years, we've invested some $250 million into the company. 500 is to come. Sorry about that. But the last 18 were in the TFL 7, in the Press 7, that we are now starting officially. And this Press 7 really links our innovation in technology with our innovation in design, and it links directly to the Redefined collection of Uniboard. And all that is obviously only possible because we are successful with the new collections that we've launched over the last few years, which has driven us to invest again. And Don is going to give us a little intro to the first video that we're going to show and explain how we got here.
Yeah, certainly, James. As James mentioned, we'd love to bring you to our mill. We'd love to have you in Quebec, but it's not possible today. So we said, okay, what can we do out of the box a little bit versus, sending you a PowerPoint? So we're doing this today. We're taking you on a VIP virtual tour, and the first video is going to be hosted by Jean-Sébastien Beaulieu. He's the plant manager in Quebec. So let's roll the reel.
We are over 400 employees working here on site in multiple areas. So we've got production people, but we also have maintenance people, engineering department, accountability, logistic, environmental people, health and safety people. In order to be a leader in the health and safety culture, we have developed multiple approach over the year to define policies and politics or standard of work that people can follow to be sure that they're safe. Being sure that we take care of our people is the only way that we can keep on pushing forward with our vision of being an industry leader. Considering that we are in a small region here, we are also responsible for the maintain and the sustainability of multiple other companies and industries around us. We can say that we are the heart of the region. If we look at the wood yard, it's actually the first step of our process. This is where we're getting and receiving all the raw material that we're using to produce our boards. Now that we have the material inside the wood yard, we can now take it with loaders to bring it inside of the process. Depending on the recipe that we're doing, on the product that we're doing at the production line, the loader operator knows exactly where to pick the material and where to put it. Once this material goes inside of the mill, it's actually wet raw material. It's roughly at 50% on a wet basis level of humidity. Once inside, it now goes to the dryer. The heat and wind are taking care of drying the chips. So once they get out of the dryer, they are roughly at a 2 or 3% wet basis humidity level. Once the drying is done, we now have to take it to the screening area where we can separate it to have the core layer material and the surface layer material. We can now assemble 3 different layers, 1 bottom surface, 2 core layer surface, and also 1 top surface. We then bring them to the blending equipment. In the blending, we bring the glue mix to stick all the wood particles together once we will be at the press. The pressing is where the glue will be submitted to pressure and high temperature. The forming area is there to assemble all of these layers and be sure that we have the proper density and proper thickness to have a good product at the exit of the line. Once we're out at the line, considering that the heat inside of the mat is really high, we need to have a cooling area. In this cooling area, the board or the master board will go in, stays for a certain period of time, and then go out. Once it's out, it's cooled down enough so it could be stacked in the maturation area where we need to leave it there while we do some environmental testing, and also curing time will be conducted. The final step of the process is the packaging, in which we will put on some straps, cover board, identification, so that our people will be able to ship correctly the product once it's been packaged. In every step of our process, we have multiple quality control processes that are in place. Some of them are linked to the efficiency of our production, and others are linked to be sure that we comply with all the environmental regulation that we must do. Sustainable development is a key aspect of Uniboard being a strong company in the particle board and TFL production in North America.
Wow, I'm blown away by the scale of the operation. Don, can you talk to us about the technology and the automation that is being used to achieve such a level of operational excellence?
I think first of all, operational excellence for Uniboard is just part of the DNA. I've been here 22 years, and that's the first thing I saw when I came to the company. It's really part of the culture, and you got to go back. I think like 1982 when we first built that mill. It was a state-of-the-art facility at the time, and we've really kept that philosophy since that time. Another important milestone was back in the year 2000. We put a continuous press into that facility, again, state-of-the-art, and it's still probably the most efficient press in North America today. Over the last 5 years or so, we've invested tens of millions of dollars in SABEC, in particle board, in TFL production, really to stay at the forefront of technology and innovation. And the reason why we do it is very, very simple. It's really to grow with our customers and deliver products that our customers want, and we can help them grow their business.
Interesting. Before we get to a question from the audience, we have a poll, a question that we would like you guys to go answer on the LinkedIn page of Uniboard. And this is the question, and we'd like to have the answer in about 20 minutes. So if you can go and answer it very quickly, we would really appreciate. So the question is as follows: where do you see industry design trends heading in the next 2 years? 1, is it organic linear? 2, solid colors? Or 3, expressive wood grains? And so we'll see the results in about 20 minutes. But for now, we're going to start with a first question from the audience. And Pam Graves has a question for us. Hello, Pam.
Hi, how are you today?
We're good. And you?
Good, thank you. I am representing Superior Cabinet. And by the way, we love your product. We do use a lot of it. We've introduced some of your newer laminates, so we do love the product. But my question is, where do you source your raw material?
So I guess I'm going to take that. Hello, Pam. Thanks for the question. Wood supply is obviously a preoccupation. A mill like Quebec uses a lot of wood. We are roughly using 500 truckloads of wood a week. So it's a preoccupation. Where that comes from? Well, regionally it comes all from Eastern Canada. So it's a fairly local, regional supply of wood. We use a grand variety of species and types of wood. Mainly it's sawmilling residues, but we also take some forest operation logging residues, some byproducts from other processes that we use. And all of it is FSC certified, so it's chain of custody, which is of value to a lot of designers and architects. It flows through our distribution chain as a credit to many construction projects. It's all about reusing and recycling. So we use the offcuts, the offalls, the chips and the sawdust and the planer shavings from sawmills, and we turn them into our products. And I think that's a really green story. It's an environmental story, and with the FSC, the Forest Stewardship Council, it makes it a really interesting thing. And I think most of us, me certainly, and all at Uniboard, we're really privileged to work with wood. It's a renewable, regenerating resource.
Thank you, Pam, for your question.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take another question. We'll go with Christina Riley. Christina Riley, who has a question for us. Hello, Christina. She's not coming through? Okay, so I'm going to ask the question for her. So she wants to know, how do you address today's environmental concerns and ensure best practice?
I guess I'll take that one. And guys, this is live, so that's why we have these. It is what it is. The environment is always been a big concern for Uniboard. We actually have an environmental stewardship program, and environmental stewardship is a core value. It's a core value within Uniboard. If I pick 2 parts of that program, first part, our auditing program, environmental auditing, very strong, very strenuous programs being in place for a year. I would say it's world class in terms of how we do it. And then if I go on the other side of things from sales and marketing, innovation, our new green portfolio products, particle board, TFL, MDF. We've been very successful with them, and those are really 2 hallmarks of the whole program.
Oh, that's important. Thank you. I think that we're going to move on to the second video, where we're going to see how the presses actually work.
Yeah, what you're going to see in the next video, it's about the same length of the first one, but what you're going to see is press number 7. What you're going to be, I think you're going to be impressed by it, is that its speed, its flexibility, but just the size of the press. The press is humongous. And what press 7 allows us to do is press 7 allows you to do things that you couldn't do 5 years ago.
That's amazing.
Products like deep embossed, synchronized textures, and believe it or not, high pressure laminates. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. So without further ado, we're going to tee up the video. But, I use an expression a lot. My dad taught me, he says, a picture's worth 1,000 words. He says, a video must be worth 1,000,000. So let's roll the tape again.
Over the years, we've been able to see multiple investment here in order to support the vision of being the best in the industry and being a leader. We have the equipment to take us to another level. Press 7 is actually the most efficient in North America. At a maximum pace, the new press is able to handle 225 cycles per hour. That's 450 boards per hour. Flexibility is a key aspect of this new line because it's able to change from one finish to another in almost no time. Basically, the new press is able to handle all of the finish that's actually offered in the Uniboard portfolio. We are able to produce Nobela, Riviera Oak, and Sequoia finishes, which are more high-end finish. So the new press allows for deep embossed texture and synchronized texture with a precision level of plus or minus 1 millimeter. Once we have the raw board, it could be particle board or MDF. We bring it to an assembly station where we can put paper on the bottom surface and also paper on the top surface. It can now be loaded into the press, and depending on the product, we can select a different pressure or a different temperature level. Over a defined cooking time, the product will then come out of the press, go to an edging and scraping area to be sure that we have perfectly good finish on all surrounding edges of the board. Once there, the board will go through an automatic grading equipment named the Color Brain. It's an automatic grader which is able to grade both bottom and top surface of the board. With the production pace that we're reaching on the new press line, this is a must-have to be able to catch all of the small defects that we can have on the line and be sure that we have a proper quality level at the output. We ensure that our product meets or surpass the quality level of all of our customers. Press 7 is able to offer Uniboard the opportunity to be the industry leader in TFL production line.
So Don mentioned that press number 7 is the first of its kind in North America. This is very impressive. So James, can you explain to us how it was built and how does it differentiate from the other presses?
Obviously, we have a lot of presses and it's all an evolution. And I think just to come back to the size and scale, first of all, I mean, you're looking at the football field of scale here in terms of footprint in the plant. So that's why we need all this space on the roof. And it can output easily 15 Canadian truckloads. So that's kind of 35, 40 US truckloads of panel per day. So it's a very productive piece of equipment with a big footprint. But come back to the question of Isabelle, kind of what differentiates it from the pack. So 2016 we started the press number 6, and it's thanks to our success together, our customer success in terms of selling the collection, but also the design team who launched one successful collection after the other. So together we've been successful in selling a lot of fancy melamine, and 2 years ago we felt the need that we needed to invest again. Because we were going to run out of capacity to make all the really nice things, the deep embossed, the registered embossed, etc. And so that's where the TFL 7 got its inspiration from. And obviously we learned from the TFL 6, which was the press of its time just 4 years ago. We learned what worked really well and maybe where we could improve a little bit. And we took those learnings and we put them into the TFL 7. So what's unique, you heard Jean-Sébastien talk about the speed and the precision and so on, and all that is obviously a notch up from what exists so far. But one really unique thing is with the very high pressure that we can give. We already practiced that on TFL 6, but with the press 7 it becomes really a press that is versatile in producing high pressure HPL laminate as well as low pressure TFL melamine. So we can really do the matching finish, the matching design in volume with the same look, the same feel, the same finish across our collection. So that's really one of the differentiating factors that stands out with this press, and the quality control measures that are in place with that equipment are also one of the differentiating factors. So I think all this tees up probably the next reflection point is, okay, all this technology, how does it link to design? And maybe Don, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, you know, if you talk to the manufacturing guys, they talk about speed and flexibility and capabilities, and I look at it from a different perspective. You know, as in charge of marketing and sales, I talk about innovation, new products, new things we can bring to your business, help you grow your businesses. So, press 6, as James said, we push the boundaries. Press 7, we're going to push the boundaries again. So, we have synchronized and deep embossed and super matte finish, etc. But I think what's really neat about press 7, and we started in press 6, it's the ability to produce high pressure laminate. And it's a high pressure laminate. I've always think in terms of the customer standpoint.
Yeah.
So designers, they say, I want a product, if you're going to sell me 2 products, make sure they match up perfectly. The color, the finish, the gloss, the design.
Yeah.
And what this does is we can produce TFL on this press and we can produce HPL on this press. So perfect finish, perfect design. It's basically seamless. And that's what's exciting to me. It's about being innovative, being at the forefront, and actually helping you guys grow your business. That's the name of the game.
Cool. Let's get to a question from the audience. So we have Jeff Floyd that would like to ask a question. And so, hello, Jeff.
Hi, Isabel. Thanks. James, Don, thanks for having us. Really just heard a little bit about quality control systems. So would love to know a little bit more about your process and the quality control systems built into this beautiful press.
Well, I guess I'm the ops guy here on the podium, so
You don't
I'll
want
have
me to
take
answer
that
that.
one. So I'm already kind of building some time here, but thanks, Jeff, for the question. Good to see you as well. Quality control, obviously, it's very important to us. You heard Jean-Sébastien, the plant manager of Sebec, talking about quality control. You saw a little bit the equipment. Obviously, the basics I'm not going to talk about. We comply with all the industry standards, be it for HPL as well as for low pressure melamine, TFL. Beyond that is obviously all the physical properties. We have 2 labs where we 24/7 take samples and measure them for its physical properties, strengths and acid tests and all that. But I think where it really gets interesting is in terms of the visual controls, because you're talking about defects in paper, folds, etc. But you're also talking about continuity. So in white, is the white getting more pink? Is it stable? In other colors, is the color connection from paper printed lot to next lot, is it consistent or does it shift? And those are really very important questions. And then you add on top of that the appearance of the finish, the gloss, and the registration precision. And that's where really the technology now comes in. You saw it a little bit in a glimpse on the video. It's called, in our case, Color Brain. We had it on the Press 6. We have kind of improved the concept. It's now on the 7 as well. It's artificial intelligence that basically constantly 24/7 gives a quality control on the surface properties and look in terms of quality. So that really sets us apart. This is our 3rd Color Brain. We're really proud of that technology, and it really assists our operators 24/7, never sleeps, to make good decisions all the time. Hope that responds to your question, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for this question. We'll go for another question now. We have Caroline Castrucci, who would like to ask a question also. And I can't answer any of these questions, so it's going to be between the 2 of you.
We'll figure out who it is. I hope it's for Don.
Carolyn?
I'm just saying, we don't want me answering these questions.
There we go.
Hello,
there
Caroline. Hello.
Hello. How's everybody?
Very
Nice to
good.
see you, Dawn. You're looking very dapper.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Dawn, I'm gonna call on you here. So you've talked about a perfect match. So I'm right in understanding that Press 7 can produce HPL with a perfect color match to the TFL.
There's no other word to say exactly.
Okay.
You know, it's the
Because we've
same.
been asking that for a while, so it's really nice because sometimes there are some limitations with the TFL in design, so having that opportunity to have the high pressure laminate certainly opens up a bunch of doors for us as designers.
And this is what the designers are asking for. It's what our customers are asking for. These investments in technologies allow you to do this. You know, if somebody would have asked me 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, I said, Don, will Uniboard manufacture high pressure laminate? I would have looked at them and said, absolutely not. With this technology, now you can do it. It's the same plate, it's the same paper, it's everything's the same. And when you put the two products side by side, it's seamless. It really is seamless. And I know your company, when you're producing your beautiful kitchens you produce, and you deliver that kitchen to the homeowner, they are totally satisfied because it looks great. Simple as that.
Well, thank you. Great question. Thank you. Thank you. I love going to the audience. They have amazing questions. Okay, so we have a final video presentation, and I'm pretty excited because we're going to get a sneak peek at the trends and what's coming up.
Good, you're excited. I'm excited too. We're going to share with you a little video. It's exciting. It's to whet your appetite on what's going to come November the 16th, not very long distant in the future. It's obviously redefining what we are doing in terms of surfaces and finishes and also colors. So let's roll the video and have a look what's in store.
Uniboard brings you their newest collection, Redefined. Inspired by nature, driven by technology and innovation. Redefined showcases nature and movement and celebrates craftsmanship, interior design, and color. We believe that environments should be a reflection of individuality, bringing joy, stimulating creativity, and provoking self-expression. Intrigued? We thought you'd be. 2021-2022 collection. Inspiration redefined. Learn more at www.uniboard.com/redefined.
Oh, the collection Redefined is amazing. I'm just looking forward to start renovating at my house and get my family going crazy again with all my renovations. We now have somebody else that came to join us. Her name is Christina Lambert. She's Uniboard's head designer. Hello, Christina. She's formerly trained in interior design, and Christina brings over 15 years of expertise in residential and commercial design using decorative engineered wood panels, and at the forefront of both North American and European designs. Christina has been responsible for spearheading the last 4 Uniboard TFL collections. It's great to have you here.
I am really proud of the collection that we've put together, and I can't wait to, answer the questions about our Redefined collection.
Well, I'm glad I have you here because earlier we asked a question and we finally have the answer. So I want you to comment on this. We asked, where do you see the industry design trends heading in the next 2 years? 1, organic linear, 2, solid colors, or 3, expressive wood grain? And the answer is 3, expressive wood grain. Wood grain, so are you surprised?
I'm not, well, actually, I'm really happy to hear that because it's definitely one of the themes that we've explored within the collection that we've continued exploring with our color palettes. So that's great. It's good news.
Well, can you tell us a bit about the vision behind the collection?
Sure. Basically, the way that I put a collection together is there's 3 main components. So the first one would definitely be, being really aware of what's going on around us, how trends are evolving, how they're evolving not only locally, but also on a very global landscape. So that's one thing. But then within that, we have to look at what artisans are doing, what the creative communities are doing out there, and how they're using materials to, create these works that elicit emotion, and how they're using mediums, and that's definitely a big part of the inspiration. So that's one component. The second one is definitely looking to nature, and this is, anybody here that's listening to me has heard me say this before, but nature is so important. It's how we get our guidelines with the types of products that we're using. So it's really sticking to that organic feel and being as natural as possible. And nature doesn't only mean, nature around us, but it also means what's in nature. So it's looking at cityscapes, it's looking at architecture, it's looking at all those types of industries around us and how they're evolving. And I'd say that the last and main, most important component to putting a collection together is listening to you, our clients, seeing what you need. How can we use your comments and integrate that fully within the color palettes and the textures and everything that we're doing with our line?
Well, I saw some pictures with different types of applications of the product. So can you talk a bit about the different types of applications you envisioned?
Sure, absolutely. Well, talking about applications, I always loathe to do that when it comes to the designs, because I find that it kind of does that a disservice in the sense that, so I find that we should leave it up to the A&D community to figure out where these designs go and how they should be used. But one thing that I would definitely have to say is that whether you're doing a residential, a commercial, hospitality project, the palette that we've put together definitely covers a vast landscape of designs. So I'm sure that there's a lot that can be integrated into decors from there.
All right, thank you. I have a question that just came in from the audience. What is the inspiration behind launching a 15th texture?
Yeah, so definitely we've been so successful with the last textures that we put in the market. We have a beautiful family of 3 synchronized textures. We've gone a little bit more edgy with some of our textures like Lyra and Sequoia, so the deeper embossing for Sequoia and the multi-gloss and the multi-textile or faceted type of wood grains with Lyra. But we've definitely seen from there that there's a gap that needs to be bridged between residential and commercial design. And it's came clear to us with the Omnia, which is the new texture, it's called Omnia, how that could definitely bridge that gap. It has a mid-range depth, it has a surface texture that definitely emulates wood very well, and the design itself, the texture itself, is something that can be paired up with so many different types of wood grains. It's not restricted to, one type of wood grain versus another. So that's definitely a plus for our collection.
Don, would you like to add something? No?
Well, I'm just listening.
In awe.
I think Christina says it all. I'm actively involved with the new collections, the new designs. Not like Christina, she heads up the design group. I think if you put it in a nutshell, our collection just gets better and better over time. The Redefined collection just fills in the gaps. It really complements what we already have. The collection, if you take a look at each collection, Redefined is if you take a look at it, it's 5 years in the making that we've been doing this. So 5 years ago, I think we had 8 finishes. Now we're going to have 15. Probably 65% of the colors have been changed out. They're trendy. They're what the customers want. They're what the designers want, and I think that's the message we want to pass to everybody here today.
Definitely.
Well, thank you. I think that's all the time we have. Did you guys want to add anything?
I just want to thank everybody for attending. If you have any questions, please get a hold of your Uniboard sales rep. Get a hold of Christina if you'd like a presentation. Takeaways from today, Press number 7 is up and running. It's running. It's making product. It's making a really nice product for us. It's making high pressure laminate. November 16th
Yes.
is the official launch date of the new collection. In the next week or two, you're going to get one of these beautiful, beautiful books. It's the new lookbook. It has all the new designs in that we're launching, and you will also have the new Omnia finish in there, and that's the start of the process of the launch. And what else is there that I want to talk about? I think that's about it. I guess the message I want to pass to you is thank you very much for attending, and please stay well, stay safe. All the best to your families. Isabel, I pass it to you.
Thank you to both of you and to James also, who left throughout this presentation. And from all of us, well, thank you for being here with us this afternoon. And if you have any questions, info@uniboard.com. Bye.
Thank you, guys.